Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, why you should definitely go to the bathroom before your next date.
Also, is this a problem for you? Are you getting blinded by the light?
All that and more on the way next. I want to let you know that no matter how lonely and alone you feel, there's always somebody that wants to cuddle with you. Her name is Alexandra Kasparek. I believe she's in New York City. It wasn't actually clear from what I was reading, but what I do know, what is clear, is she's a Polish entrepreneur who came up with the idea for a cuddling salon. She opened this about 2 years ago, and it's so popular that there's a wait list for people that just want to cuddle with her. And maybe that's because she's the only one. She needs to start hiring some other cuddlers.
Right.
So she doesn't have to handle this entire business on her own.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know what people are thinking. Oh, I know what cuddling means. Wink, wink, right? But it's not. There are strict rules. And if anything heads in a wrong sexual direction, then that is the end of the cuddling session.
You've been cut off.
Yeah. Probably banned, depending on how bad it is.
I would imagine, yeah.
You're not allowed to be drunk. You have to shower before. There's so many rules to make sure that this is just like a clean, therapeutic cuddling session.
Yeah.
And now I was curious, how much would this run you?
Yeah.
How much does it cost to cuddle? $37 an hour.
I don't know for whatever reason, but I thought it was going to be more expensive.
Me too.
Than that.
I think that's a pretty good deal. I mean, you can't go on a date for $37.
Yeah, I guess
you could. But.
Yeah, I mean, I've guess been on some cheap dates, but also they were probably when I was in college or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I was definitely expecting it to be more, to come at a premium or whatever, because she's the only one available for this with this business that she runs. But yeah, she does $37 a week, and I guess that makes sense why it's so popular and why she has a waiting list. She says people have to make appointments days in advance to be able to come in, and she has a list of regulars. It's interesting.
That is something to think about, that you have to decide ahead of time. Will I want to cuddle 6 days from now?
Yeah.
Next Tuesday, will I want to cuddle? I guess I better just put in the appointment anyways, and we'll see how I feel day of.
It's almost like you're at the dentist, and when you're done, you're scheduling your next appointment.
Yeah.
You're all right, let me see what I'm doing here. Except it'd be for next week for the cuddling session or whatever.
We'll see you again in 3 months. I do like that it's cheaper though, $37, because you think about it, maybe the richer you are, maybe the less likely you need a cuddle.
Sure.
Because you can just cuddle your money. But if you're in tougher times, $37, if she's in New York City, which I believe that she is, that's nothing. In New York City, that's incredibly cheap.
Yeah.
And so that is really open to people on the lowest end that really need a cuddle. And, times are difficult. She says a lot of her clients are aged 40 to 60, which makes sense to me too. She says a lot of them have just, been through a lot.
Yeah.
Once you get to 40 to 60, I feel like the options to just cuddle with people that maybe you're less familiar with, it becomes more difficult.
It starts to dwindle a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Your options start to dry up. And so it makes sense that is her clientele.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't want to shame anybody that would stoop to paying $37 an hour to cuddle with Alexandra Kasparek.
I don't want to shame anyone, and I also don't want to shame her. Hey, girl, get your bag. If it's popular, keep doing it.
This is inspiring. Maybe I should open up a cuddling salon. There's not one around here.
Not that I know.
People would want to cuddle with me, right?
I mean,
I might even be able to charge more. Just want to give you one more thing to worry about. The New World screwworm is coming back. That is a deadly parasite, flesh-eating parasite that officials are warning could be reemerging in the United States and even more so in Central America. The New World screwworm seems to be spreading through the illegal cattle trade.
Ooh.
Which goes to show that when you commit crimes that may seem victimless, I'm trading. Who cares if I'm illegally selling cattle? Well, if it's not all done above board, then things like the New World screwworm can go unchecked and all of a sudden start spreading across countries. And what makes the New World screwworm so dangerous? It can affect any warm-blooded creature. Mm-hmm. So not only livestock, but also pets and even humans. And how it works is the New World screwworm flies will lay eggs in open wounds or orifices of live tissue such as nostrils, eyes, or mouth.
Oh.
They hatch into dangerous parasitic larvae, and the maggots burrow or screw into the flesh with sharp mouth hooks and give you what is known as New World screwworm myiasis.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. No, thank you. Let's not have that happen, please. Apparently, these were actually eradicated from the United States over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
At apparently a great cost. And
$800 million, which was more in those days.
Right. With inflation, that's an insane amount of money today. So I can't imagine what it would be like for the U.S. government to have to pay for this to happen again, for them to have to eradicate it again. Like you said, it sucks that this is happening through the illegal cattle trade. Apparently, that's not the only thing that's bad through the cattle trade, because you're also seeing animals that are coming over the border that have tuberculosis and different things that are affecting animals that are healthy, that rancher zone that are near the border. So it's just an overall problem where you're starting to see this work its way up now into Mexico and their supply chain.
Yep.
And so that's why the U.S. Wildlife Conservation Society is kind of going ahead and pre-warning ranchers, hunters, all sorts of people that live near the border where this trade might happen of this potential risk.
I'm going to take them at their word that this is a real thing that we really should be afraid of. But let's just say it's not, and it's a scare tactic to use to try to like curb the illegal cattle trade. Like they have other reasons, and they're like, we need to stop the livestock trade, whatever. This is a good idea. If they just made this up, it would be effective on me.
Right.
I'd be like, well, I don't want to be dealing with anything. I'm an illegal cattle trader. I don't know. I think I'm getting out of the business. I'm going straight because I don't want to get anywhere near a New World screwworm burrowing into my flesh and my nostrils.
Yep. Sounds like C.S. Lewis would have written about it. But that's not a fun thing to deal with. And just for the tuberculosis alone, this shouldn't be, going on.
Yeah, that's this is a warning to all the illegal cattle traders out there. You don't know what you're messing with. You don't know what you're dealing with that could affect not only many Americans and Mexicans and other people in other Central American countries, but most importantly, it could affect you. Yeah. You think the New World screwworm will never get to me? You don't know. You're a lot closer than many of us.
I was gonna say you're right next to it, bud.
Question for you, Allie. You have a cat.
I do.
You got a new cat, Noelle, for Christmas.
Yes.
Did you ever start this isn't the question. Did you ever start an Instagram account for the cat?
I didn't. I decided I was like, I'm already not wanting to be on Instagram as much as I currently am, which is not a lot in all honesty, but I'm not a huge fan of social media, like spending time on social media, kind of getting sucked into it. I like social media, but I just don't want to get sucked into it. So I was kind of like, maybe it's not a good idea for me to create a new account.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for the cat to give consent to. People never think about that. No, my real question is, as a cat owner, do you have a voice for your cat?
A voice for my cat? Oh, like a baby talk type of voice?
Not a voice that you talk to your cat.
Oh.
Do you have a voice where you make your cat say things?
Oh, no.
No, you don't do that.
No.
Why do you seem so offended by the question?
I just think that's a little odd, maybe.
A little absurd?
Not absurd, but I just think I I have no idea what she is thinking or saying, you know.
That is a cat.
She is a cat, and also she is she's functioning on instinct for the most part, and so I have never done that.
You don't do that. Do you think that's because it's a cat, or because you could this be also influenced? You live alone, right?
I do.
So you would just be making the cat talk to yourself.
I know that's a little strange.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. So yeah, I do talk to the cat sometimes. Because I'll be like, oh, my little baby Noelle, like something like that. But I don't make the cat talk back to me.
I don't like the way you're laughing about it, because I
Do you do this?
Yeah, with Zafira the dog, she definitely has her own voice, and people know this, but I don't think that I'm alone, that I'm the only person that practices this. So I don't know if this is if it's a dog thing, or if it's as long as we've had Zafira the dog, it's been me and my wife. So maybe it's because it wouldn't just be making the dog talk to yourself, that is definitely another level of odd. Yeah. I don't know what the distinction is. So maybe if any people that, I don't know, are married or something and have a cat want to chime in, do you make your cat talk to each other? Do
you make the cat say stuff? I mean, I think about what she's thinking about, like in certain circumstances. I'm like, what is she thinking about as she's trying to, climb the Christmas tree or something silly like that? But I definitely, I'm not like, I don't even know how you would do that. Like,
what do you mean? It's real. Think about what the cat is thinking, and then you just say it out loud, but it can't be in your voice, because, it's like you're giving your cat a character.
Right.
Like Zafira the dog is a character in my life. Is a character that plays a vital role in what me and my family do.
Yeah.
And she speaks her mind. And you could do that for Noelle too. And I don't think that would be that strange.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'll be starting that practice anytime soon. Believe me, I feel like Noelle speaks her mind plenty without me needing to speak for her.
Without you giving voice to it. She just speaks her mind silently.
Yeah, she's not a loud cat. She doesn't meow a lot, but she does occasionally, mainly when she's like the other yesterday she was found a bug in my apartment and was like really looking at it and like, deciding if she wanted to pounce on it or not. And so I was trying to move something out of the way so that she could get to it easier. I didn't actually see what bug it was, but it just looked like she was going after something. And I moved this power cord for my laptop so that she could get to it better. And when I pick it up, there's nothing there. And she literally looks up at me and goes, "Wow," like that. Like she was almost like mad at me for ruining her fun. Because she's like, you moved this and now it's gone.
You had to get involved.
She's like, now it's gone.
Yeah.
You scared it away. I
can tell. She doesn't need a voice.
Yeah, she's good.
If you've got a high pressure situation coming up that you know about, one of the best things you can do to prepare, clear your mind and also clear your bowels. A new study has found that seriously, one of the best things you can do is go to the bathroom before a high pressure situation where you need to make big decisions. Granted, this was a small study, but it was a study done with 13 triathletes where they were given what is called the Stroop test.
Okay.
Which is a funny name for a test in the first place. I'm sure it was somebody's last name, but given the context of what we're talking about here, it's just convenient.
Sounds a little odd.
Yeah, the Stroop test is a test that puts you through rapid decision-making situations. And so these are people already, they're triathletes, like you think they're in pretty good shape, like they got pretty good, their mind is in the right place or whatever. And so what they did was they gave these participants, these triathletes, the Stroop test 3 separate times. Once they just did it, the control, it was just the regular study. Once they did it after having gone to the bathroom themselves. And then once they did it after being given a laxative to induce going to the bathroom. And they found that that the participants 100% across the board, after having the laxative-induced bathroom scenario performed the best across the board at the Stroop test.
Okay.
So in other words, if you have maybe you have a big interview or I don't know, you're going on a date, a high-pressure date, something, I don't know, whatever your situation is, the best thing you can do, take a laxative beforehand, and then you will experience your best performance in the moment.
Just clear out your system.
Yeah. Well, then you're not being weighed down, and it's one less thing for you to worry about, too.
True.
I actually think that's a big part of it. Like, one less thing for you to be anxious about is like, what if I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of this? No way, I cleared that out right beforehand.
We're
good.
Already good.
Yeah,
the system is clear. The mental faculties are ready to go. The study seems a little small to be able to make a true judgment on if this is true or not. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine, if you need to go to the bathroom, you're focused on needing to go to the bathroom. So that would make sense. You're not focused on making that decision.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you think about it, if they were given the laxative and that was the time they did the best, they might not have even realized they needed to go to the bathroom. And maybe they wouldn't have realized till it was too late.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only explanation is that when they hadn't gone to the bathroom at all beforehand, for some of these 13 participants, that hit them at some point during the test to at least the extent of it slowed them down.
Right. How long is this Stroop test?
That I do not know.
Is it like several hours or something?
I don't know. What I have here is that it's just like you're supposed to, like when the test where they put up on the screen, it says red, but the color is actually green, and you have to decode that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's a lot of quick. So I think it's a very quick test.
Yeah. Okay.
As I understand it.
Okay.
And not something too. Maybe somebody's thinking, well, maybe they did the control one first, and then by the third time they had been through the test 3 times, and it's not that they had gone to the bathroom; it's that they were more experienced with the test. But it's not something you can train for because it's something you have to do.
It's
quick
different
in the
each time, and you have to do it quicker. So I don't know. Like I said, I think I might be too small to make a true informed judgment on it. But just thinking about it from like a perspective of when we've all been in that moment of like when you gotta go, it makes sense that you would be like not super clear in the mind to make an important decision right then and there.
Exactly. You just don't. Again, one less thing you need to worry about.
Yeah.
So the next time you've got a high pressure situation, you know what to do.
You're welcome.
SpaceX has a test flight coming up, scheduled for this Friday. SpaceX has made some notable improvements, they say, to their rocket that they will be launching, hopefully this Friday, if everything goes to plan. I want to see, Allie, as the space expert on the show, how you feel about these upgrades that have been made. First of all, the new ship includes a smaller forward flap. Okay. We all know why there's a smaller forward flap, right?
Yeah, we all know what the forward flap is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's located higher up.
Yep.
Than it was before.
Okay. It's located on the forward of the ship, right?
Yes. And that is, of course, for those who don't know, it's to reduce heating during its re-entry.
It makes sense because they had an issue with that, with the rocket, the last one. So
they had to try something new.
Try something else.
Try something new. It's a smaller forward flap. That's what they're trying. Also, the propulsion system has been upgraded.
Okay.
It can now hold 25% more fuel for the next flights on the next rocket.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's never a bad, unless it weighs you down.
But you use a large percentage of your fuel to just get off the ground. So I doubt they'll have enough that will weigh them down.
Sure.
But I think what they're trying to do there...
Yes, that was a test.
Right.
I was testing you.
Thank you. I think what they're trying to do there is they're trying to get out of the atmosphere quicker.
Okay.
So... yeah.
All right. Let's see. They also say they have improved avionics, which means better valve control and sensor readings. And that should boost the performance and enable a longer mission.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That adds up to you.
Yeah.
You give SpaceX the seal of approval on that move.
I think these improvements are good.
I mean, so far, they're all no-brainers. The forward
The
flap.
forward flap.
Obviously.
The 25% more fuel.
More fuel. Why wouldn't you? Improve sensor readings. Of course.
Yeah.
If you were just tell this to a person on the street, they'd be like, why didn't they do these things sooner?
Right.
Hire me at SpaceX. I could have told you. Improve the sensor readings. They also have a heat shield that will use new upgraded tiles with a backup layer underneath in case any of the tiles fail or sustain damage during re-entry.
Which is what happened to them previously. They were really actually kind of shocked with how it responded with the whole heat shield thing. So I think that was their main focus, was to try and get that fixed.
Now, this is exciting. So this is supposed to happen on Friday if
Yeah.
they are able to do this flight. They'll also attempt Starship's first payload deployment test.
Oh.
Now, that's what we're all going to be watching for, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to see, how does that payload deployment go? I cannot wait. They better not have to reschedule this on Friday.
Yeah.
Or we're all going to be disappointed.
We're going to be so sad. You know, we got the college football playoff coming up, but what we really want is that SpaceX rocket launch.
That payload deployment, baby. Well, that is exciting. Looking forward to that on Friday, the next SpaceX test launch. The Hudson Show on Radio U, 8772 Radio U. Welcome to our food fight with the new crispy chicken nuggets from Taco Bell. These have been making headlines. People really questioning, why is Taco Bell making chicken nuggets? And it is true. It is hard to understate the is cognitive dissonance the right term?
Sure.
That comes with pulling out this box from a Taco Bell bag and there's no tortillas. It's not a quesadilla. It's not a burrito. There's no taco shells.
It's not a Mexican pizza.
Yeah. There's
It's
just
chicken nuggets.
that just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean this won't be good.
Yeah, they don't smell bad. The smell is good.
Yeah, they do have a good smell to them. So Taco Bell, a few days ago, launched their chicken nuggets that they've been testing out. Crispy chicken nuggets nationwide. You can get them for 5 pieces or 10 pieces. They're supposed to come with one of 3 new sauces. I say supposed to because our Taco Bell had none of them. And this is all, actually not just our Taco Bell. There was like 3 Taco Bells close by. One of them didn't even have nuggets at all. Oh. And the other 2 did not have all of the sauces. In fact, this one had none.
Wah, wah, wah.
But you can try your luck. They're supposed to have a Bell sauce, a jalapeno honey mustard, and a Hidden Valley Fire Ranch.
That honey mustard, I must try it. You know what I mean? I must have it.
Yeah, the Bell sauce sounds to me like it might be kind of Raising Cane's or Chick-fil-A sauce style.
It sounds very similar to that.
Which would have been great if they had it, but instead, you know what? It is good though. Oh, look at this nugget. I'm interrupting myself because this is not really a nugget.
No.
This is all breading. This shouldn't count. They did give me 2 of those to make up for it's 5. Now
I have 6 too because I also got one of those little burnt.
Yeah, that truly is a nugget. It truly is.
a little burnt nugget.
But
all right, you gonna try it first?
That said, yeah, and I think it's best to give it a try without any sauce because a good chicken nugget should stand on its own.
True. Try it.
That's chickeny. It tastes at least some percentage to be real chicken.
At least some percentage of it is real, but we're not entirely sure how much percent.
Now that's weird.
What?
It does have, obviously this is not like the kind of thing you would expect from Taco Bell. But at the tail end, the seasoning, it has a distinct Taco Bell flavor to it. It's not a taco, it's not a burrito, it's not a quesadilla, but somehow, even if you're blindfolded, you might go, that kind of tastes like Taco Bell.
You know, I think I know what you mean. There's like a little bit of a tiny kick at the end.
Mm-hmm. It's got, some kind of whatever
Just
seasoning they put
something
on there.
That just hits right at the very end. Very weird aftertaste. Okay, but it's not bad.
No, I was expecting not a lot, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it's really not bad at all. It's really not, like you put this up against a naked boneless wing from Buffalo Wild Wings. Is this really that much worse? I don't know that it is.
No, it tastes very similar to something like that.
I have one of the sauces that you can always get at Taco Bell, and that is, I think this is supposed to be spicy ranch to make up for the fact that they didn't have fire ranch.
Yeah, try the spicy ranch.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. I've got, what did you say this was? The chipotle?
That is chipotle sauce,
Okay.
I think.
Or it almost also looks like their spicy jalapeno sauce, which comes on their quesadilla.
It could be that. It's some, I don't know.
I can't tell from the smell. Let me try it.
Maybe by the taste. But these can hold a candle to some actual, like, again, Buffalo Wild Wings, not exactly the gold standard, but you stack these up against Buffalo Wild Wings, I don't think you'd be too upset.
Yeah. I think that is the jalapeno sauce. Mm-hmm. It's definitely got a kick to it, but I really like it. It's one of my favorite sauces from Taco Bell.
Now, the question is the price.
Yeah. How much does it cost?
It was $3.99 for 5 pieces of these nuggets, which wound up being 6 for us.
Yeah. Because we got one little tiny baby.
I need to do some on-the-fly research real quick.
Okay.
Of how much that, like, if you got 6 nuggets or whatever they count at Chick-fil-A, how much would it cost? Is this more expensive, cheaper? How does it rank versus Chick-fil-A?
I'm not sure.
I need to order now.
I don't order nuggets that much. You're on the Chick-fil-A website?
On the Chick-fil-A website. Order now. We're going to test this out. Chick-fil-A, would you consider the gold standard for
nuggets?
For nuggets?
Yeah,
or at least that's a pretty good
I think their nuggets definitely are pretty good, probably the best of the fast food.
If I was to order just a straight up
and what sizes
entree.
They do they do 4 and 8 or 8 and 12?
They do 5 as well. And their 5 is $3.25. So you're paying a little premium for Taco Bell. But I do think versus the Chick-fil-A nuggets, these are a little bigger too.
They are, yeah. And they, compensated for the one that wasn't that big.
They did. They made up for it.
So,
I mean, I think it would be literal blasphemy.
Okay.
To say the Taco Bell's nuggets are better than Chick-fil-A's.
Yeah.
But I think for the price for what you get, it's not too far off.
It's not too far off, but you're not getting. Here's the thing: you're not guaranteed that it'll be there because this isn't what Taco Bell is known for.
You can't just pull up to the drive-thru.
Can't just pull up to the drive-thru. You need to check ahead, like what you did, Hudson, to see if it's available, and then also. You may not get one of the new sauces, including the one that's supposed to be like a Chick-fil-A rival, the Bell sauce. So we all know the best part of Chick-fil-A is the sauce.
That's right.
So if you go and you can't get the sauce and the chicken nuggets aren't as good, I don't think it's worth it to save the money.
And last thing is that if you go to Taco Bell and you're craving chicken and they don't have it, you have to order something completely different. If you go to Chick-fil-A and they don't have the nuggets, then just get the strips.
Right.
Or just get a sandwich.
Yep.
And it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. That's true. If you go craving, it's like, oh, what other chicken thing do you got? Chicken quesadilla? That's the closest thing.
Which is a different type of chicken entirely.
Very
altogether.
Different. Very different.
It's a different type of chicken. You failed. All right. I think we've covered this from all angles. If your New Year's resolution is to get further at work, maybe get a promotion this year, move up in the ranks, a London restaurant has an idea for you, a London chain, it sounds like, and that is BYOB. Bring your own boss to lunch. Apparently in the UK, there's a big problem. I imagine it's fairly similar here. They say 7 in 10 workers in London skip their lunch break altogether at least once a week.
Wow.
They completely miss out on their lunch break because they're so busy trying to get work done and whatever. And even those who do wind up eating lunch, taking their lunch break, take it at their desk, like it's just not, you need, we talked about this on the show yesterday in Fired or Hired. You need a breather sometimes.
Yep.
You need to give your mind a break. Well, I don't know if this counts as giving your mind a break, but it does count as going out for lunch, getting out to a restaurant, but also maybe not feeling so bad about it because the Bring Your Own Boss initiative for this London restaurant is if you invite and bring your boss to work or bring your boss to the restaurant, they will cover the boss's meal. So you have to pay for yourself, but then the boss is getting a meal on you because you brought them around.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And they say a lot of people, I don't know what the numbers were, but people feel like they would benefit from being able to get that FaceTime with their boss.
Right.
You one-on-one with your boss. I think that's, I can understand that in many lines of work. So I think this wouldn't work for everybody, would it?
No.
But for those who, particularly in an office, I think this makes a lot of sense.
I think especially if you work in a bigger office where you're not always interacting with your boss one-on-one very often, this would give you kind of more of that time. And if you're looking for a promotion, if you're looking to ask for a pay raise, the better time, the time to make those connections so you can ask for those things is in, a lunch break meeting or something. Or, I know a lot of corporate people, they go out and play golf together.
Yes.
And that's where they get a lot of their work done, surprisingly. It's on the golf course. And so, I think it's a good idea for you to, get an in with your boss.
Yeah. Well, and you think about it, if you're going to be working, as they say, 7 in 10 workers work through their lunch break. If you're going to be working on your lunch break anyways, you might as well be getting a good meal and getting in good graces with the boss face to face.
Right.
It's because listen to this. If you think that you just putting your head down and getting work done is going to be noticed by your boss, I hate to tell you this, but there's a great chance that it won't.
Yeah.
If you're not actually in front of them going, hey, look what I'm doing in some way or another. The other thing is some work advice. As much as it, in some cases, it comes down to numbers and whatever, even more so, if you are humanized in the boss's eyes and the boss is humanized in your eyes and you see each other more than just coworkers or whatever, but as, actual people.
Yep.
That may be more healthy, but it also is going to work in your favor when they think about, oh, should I fire this person? Well, I don't know. They have a family. Or should I promote this person? Well, he is really funny at lunch. We both cheer for the Bears or whatever. Like that actually could get you a long way.
Yeah, if you're cheering for the Bears, I mean, you got some trauma to talk about. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's true. But
I meant the UCLA Bears.
Oh,
less trauma.
Yeah, that's definitely what you meant.
Yeah.
No, but I think it is.
They're the Bruins.
I was gonna say I didn't remember them being the Bears, but okay.
There's other Bears.
I was just going along with
Chicago Bears.
I was just gonna let you get away with it. Man.
Yeah.
You didn't need to correct yourself.
No, yeah, it was the Cal Golden Bears.
Yeah, the Golden Bears for Cal.
Even they have less trauma than Chicago Bear fans.
Yeah, and they're not great either. But
anyways, we've gotten off track.
Yeah, but end of the story, I think this is a good idea. Make yourself likable to your boss and have a good conversation with them at lunch. And you don't have to pay for it.
The tough thing is that's in London.
Yeah.
Here, you do have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So how much is improving your relationship with your boss, setting yourself up for future success? How many dollars for lunch is that worth to you?
Yeah. How expensive does it get?
There's a scourge that is sweeping our great nation, at least according to about 66,000 people who have signed a petition on change.org to have it banned. And that scourge, blinding bright headlights. LED headlights are the subject of some controversy that they have, become more and more popular in recent years. And one gal on TikTok has become particularly offended by them, and that's led her to go viral. After she posted a TikTok that said this, the amount of times I'll be driving at night and I just see this flash of white light blinding my eyes and I can't see anything. And it's not these cars using like their high beams or anything like that. These are just their normal headlights. She also claims she has an astigmatism and that makes it worse. So what does it mean? Should the change.org petition, should we adhere to that? Should we start working on legislation to change headlights in cars these days?
I mean, here's the thing. I feel like this argument is incredibly nuanced because we've seen safety statistics that show that you're safer on the road when your lights are brighter. You can see more of the road. But is it potentially hurting other drivers that are, either in front of you or coming at you, as far as like you're head on to them and you're shining these bright lights directly at them, is it hurting their driving? Are you causing them to not be able to see the lines on the road or other cars or their turn, whatever it may be, because your lights are just so gosh darn bright, like just so bright. And so I agree with her and kind of her premise that there is a problem because it is blinding people. I do have an astigmatism. I have not, I don't know how other people perceive LED lights, but from what I've heard from everyone, they seem to be incredibly bright.
Yeah, I don't think it's just an astigmatism
No,
thing.
I know that can affect the way you see light. It's just, the way your eyes are shaped are different. And so I get that, but I don't think that is a specific enough reason to ban them, you know what I mean? But she does get incredibly mad at
She's really worked up.
Yeah, she's very worked up. Like there's a car behind her and I can't tell if they have LED lights because the light looks, yellow in the camera light. But she is like getting so worked up in this video. And I'm first of all, I'm like, why are you filming a TikTok while you're driving?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Like that seems like a bad idea. And then secondly, she flips off the car behind her. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I get being upset about LED lights, but get upset against the manufacturers, not the people that have the cars and are driving them. It's not like this car behind her is flashing their lights, or getting upset.
She said they didn't have the high beams on.
They didn't have the high beams on, and so they have no control of that. They honestly don't even know that the lights are affecting you in this way or that they might be bright enough where your car is because it looks like she's in a lower car. So this car behind her is higher and they're just, shining down into her car. So it just seems a little odd that you would get that upset at the driver behind you. But we talked about road rage yesterday and we get mad at, someone going the speed limit. So I'm not shocked, but I agree with her premise, but I'm like, it seems a little odd to get that worked up about this.
Yeah, I want to bring this back. If anybody has any thoughts, should we get rid of the bright LED headlights? There's a change.org petition that says so, and many people on TikTok, it seems, as well. 8772 RadioU. But, I have a lot of eye issues too, and I have my own thoughts on this.
Okay.
What should we do? We have Regina who says, I would absolutely sign that petition. I also have an astigmatism, and I don't know why lights so bright are allowed.
Yeah.
It's so that people can see.
Well,
so people can see.
But it does seem a little odd that they have ramped up so much compared to what they used to be. Yeah. So I get what she means.
I like what Dee says. She says, I regularly drive on roads where there are no lights other than your car, and the bright lights, the brighter those are, make it safer. I don't like them, but they do make it safer, especially when there's deer everywhere.
And that makes sense. When you're alone on the road, you turn your brights on. You want to have more light so that you can see, especially if you're driving out in the middle of nowhere, you want to be able to see. So I get that, but I think the main problem here is is it safer for you but hurting other people?
Yes. Susanna says LEDs are terrible for me. I got special sunglass things that are supposed to help, but they don't really.
Aww.
A few times I've had to just stop on the road, which I'm pretty sure isn't ideal for the cars behind me. Yeah, that sounds
that's
also
not fun.
Not good. Here's what I think.
Okay.
And I'm somebody with a plethora of eye issues, including astigmatism. And I used to have a big issue with the bright headlights.
Yeah.
But then I got a car that sits higher up. I got an SUV. And now I hardly ever even think about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't come up. And another thing you can do, and I know this isn't, like if you have astigmatism, it's different. But I think a lot of people that don't like the bright headlights, part of the problem is they have a dirty windshield.
Oh,
and if you have a dirty windshield, whether it's the bright headlights or the sun shining in during the day, that's going to crush your visibility too, make it even worse than it already would be.
Right.
So nobody wants to hear that, but you got to take some Windex to that thing.
Yep.
And clear it up. And I think Dee is right that as much as it may be inconvenient for people to be driving head on into the LED lights, how many accidents do you hear about where somebody is like, oh, head-on collision because the car coming their way had the bright lights and they were blinded. They drove right into them.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know how many accidents it could have potentially caused or, saved someone from being in an accident because they saw the deer and they, didn't collide with it or whatever. But, it's... Here's the thing. As I said in the last segment we did about this is an incredibly kind of like nuanced debate, if you will, because I hear all your points and I agree with them, but I also hear the points of Susanna and Regina who are like, I'm suffering from this. This is causing me to have to stop in the road because I can't see. Because I've been in that situation before where you literally can't see your lane because the car that's driving towards you, their lights are just too bright. So it just feels like there has to be some type of happy medium where we can get them a little less bright, but it's still safe. I don't know.
It should be pointed out that in Europe, they do have the happy medium.
What is it?
They have adaptive headlights, smart headlights.
Yeah, they've talked about this.
Where somebody's coming the other way on the road or whatever, and so it dims them or focuses them down more towards the road instead of up ahead, so that they don't blind the people. The problem is, it says here in the United States, we have a law that was made years ago before these bright headlights became a thing, that cars are required to have the bright headlights and then the low beams. And because of how that law is written,
they're not allowed to use the adaptive.
Yeah, we can't use the adaptive technology that they use in Europe. So blame the lawmakers. Don't blame the car companies even. It's the government. Did you know this? On Google, there's a Google Maps, there's a feature called Add a Missing Place where you can, if you so choose, go ahead and put information in about a business that you think should be located on Google Maps but doesn't show up for some reason. Which obviously, if you want to be very helpful and there's places that are missing, that can be a very useful tool. Right. You can also use it for evil if you so choose.
For evil.
Which actually sounds like a lot of fun. I'm having a hard time even being mad at the person who did this in the country of Wales, which is notorious for having towns that there's no chance any of us English speakers would be able to pronounce. A quiet village in Wales, somebody added an Aldi supermarket to this town, a grassy knoll that has no Aldi anywhere nearby. And it's led to many an individual trying to find their way to this Aldi for one reason or another. And because it's kind of actually out in the middle of nowhere, these people are getting stuck. They're thinking they're lost, so they're asking for directions from actual townsfolk.
Oh no!
And it's even led to a milk truck becoming stuck on a narrow village road because it was trying to deliver its cargo to this Aldi that doesn't actually exist.
No way!
I don't know how that trucker got the bad information that it needed to go to this Aldi that doesn't exist, but nevertheless. This one random person who just thought they were pulling a prank has really caused a lot of havoc in this town in Wales.
I was going to say it's really caused some problems. Surely Google can take this down because it doesn't exist, and hopefully they already have. But also, does Aldi even exist in Wales? Is it I didn't even know it was an international supermarket.
Oh, no. Aldi is definitely, I don't know if it originated in the UK or Germany or something, but I think it's a European thing initially.
I had no clue.
Maybe don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I had no idea that was the case. I thought it was an American or, North American store. So
it was founded in Germany.
Okay, well, here we go.
Yeah, so I think actually Aldi might even be bigger there. And you think about this too. I don't know. Well, you grew up in Africa, so I don't know how things were there. But for me, growing up in a small town in a rural area, if you had a new store open up, that'd be big news.
Oh,
and it's exciting. I remember we had a Dollar General open up, and that was everybody had to make a pilgrimage to the new Dollar General just because what else have we got going on in Union Bridge?
Right.
And so. Not only could this lead, obviously these delivery drivers and whatever to a location that doesn't exist, it also could cause a lot of commotion in the town where they're like, yes, we're finally getting an Aldi. We used to have to drive 45 minutes to get our groceries or get it from Farmer John. Now we can go to the Aldi. It's so exciting. Let's drive over there. And then it doesn't exist, and a lot of disappointment. So
yeah, that would be really sad if you thought you were on your way to the grocery store. You were so excited for whatever snacks you had planned, although you can't really plan anything with Aldi because they always have different stuff in stock.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, but
that's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun. You were excited to go, and then you show up and it's grass.
Yeah, you had your own bags ready and everything. You had a quarter.
You had a quarter ready to go.
Now what am I going to use this for? Made a trip to the bank just to get this.
Or sorry, whatever the Welsh equivalent to a quarter is.
Love them or leave them on the Hudson Show. We need you to chime in at 8772 RadioU if you have any helpful thoughts or advice in this relationship situation. And of course, if you ever have a relationship issue you want us to weigh in on, us and the RadioU audience, go ahead and let us know at 8772 RadioU. This one, it's a young married couple. The guy says, since Hudson, you and Allie have such different opinions on coffee, I thought you might be good people to turn to in this debate. Here's the situation. He says, I purchased a 60-count assorted K-cup box the day before my wife invited 2 of her friends to stay 5 nights with us over the holidays.
Okay.
They're from out of state and were staying with us for a while they visited their family. He says, I drink 2 cups of coffee a day and really liked one of the flavors in the box. During their stay, I noticed that these people his wife has invited over would drink 3 to 4 cups a day per person.
Wow.
That box is going to go fast.
Yeah.
He said, knowing that I particularly liked one flavor, I put 8 K-cups in a Ziploc bag and put it in the cabinet. I was never upset that they were drinking the coffee. I just wanted to keep some of that flavor for when I made my coffee. My wife got upset and said that this is only child behavior and just strange. Is it strange that I've stashed away some K-cups for myself? 8772 RadioU. Is it wrong for this man to save some of the K-cups that he bought and separate them away from the K-cups for the guests? 8772 RadioU.
Wow. I don't know.
I'll try to think of an analogy to put it in non-coffee drinking terms. I don't know. 8772 RadioU. Think about how you would feel about this situation, this love them or leave them scenario. I mean, the answer is not going to be leave them.
Yeah.
You don't get a divorce over this.
Right. No.
But what do you do? Was this man wrong to put away his K-cups of the flavor that he liked? We'll see what people are saying. I was thinking of an analogy. What if you're a non-coffee drinker? Imagine this, Allie. Imagine you buy one of those the variety packs of chips, and you have guests over to stay with you. And after a day or two, you realize that you want to save all the Funyuns for yourself, and so you stash those away. I feel like when I put it that way, it starts to sound a little more unhinged, doesn't it?
It does sound a little more odd.
Like they can have the sour cream and onion and the Cool Ranch Doritos, but the Funyuns I'm keeping in my room.
And I'm afraid that wouldn't apply to me, mainly because the other options that you left behind are the ones I like more.
Oh, okay. That's surprising.
For me, the one that would get me is if it's like I bought a 24 pack of like Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And suddenly the Diet Coke starts disappearing. I might start, pulling a few cans out and keeping them for later. Putting them in my stash.
Yeah, you got to stash it away. You bought it. Lisa says, this is absolutely not strange behavior. I would have done the exact same thing. So some support for the man here, the coffee stasher from Lisa. Daryl says, nope, not weird at all, especially given the guest consumption rate.
Right.
3 to 4 cups per day. 3 to 4 cups
of coffee a day.
If it's the holidays and maybe they're hanging around the house and just sitting around, like, what do? You sit around the table and you drink coffee.
Sure.
And talk.
But that does seem like a lot of caffeine.
I know that especially if you're just sitting around with no outlet. Yeah. But I know family members and maybe even me, if I had nothing else going on, drinking 3 to 4 cups of coffee, 100%.
I could see myself drinking 3 to 4 Diet Cokes, but they don't have anywhere near the level of caffeine of 1 cup of coffee.
You know who else says they could see themselves drinking 3 to 4 cups of coffee is Consuelo. who says, I honestly don't see anything wrong with stashing away the coffee that you like. I'm a big coffee drinker like the guests were on this story, and I typically drink about 3 to 4 cups of coffee a day. I think it's completely reasonable to save what coffee you like, and it's not childish at all.
Yeah, he's just stashing it away. What's the big deal?
Susanna says, I think it's fine. He's being generous with his coffee stash.
Yeah, that's true.
And what a great way to get rid of the flavors you like less.
Good point.
Let's see. Aurora says, full disclosure, I am an only child, but it's his coffee. He can do what he pleases with it. His wife is wrong. He's being more than reasonable.
Yeah.
Esmeralda says that as a person with an older brother, this is not only child behavior. This is solidly child with a sibling behavior.
Yeah.
You got to get what's yours before your siblings get to it.
Yep.
Jeff says he's an adult. He can afford more, but that's not supportive of the wife to say. So maybe Jeff coming down a little more in between. Like his wife doesn't need to criticize him over it.
Right.
And we'll cap things off with Regina, who says, I see nothing wrong with this. It's not like he took all the coffee or got upset about them taking their coffee, which they did. Like, even if I don't see a problem with drinking 3 to 4 cups a day, that is a lot of coffee to drink. He just took 8. That's not even 1/8 of the available of the total coffee available in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
That's not unreasonable.
No.
So we're definitely coming down. If this guy was hoping for support, he's got it here.
He's got it.
Nobody is upset with you.
No.
Except your wife. What does that say?
And her friends.
Yeah. What does that say? Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.